Now we will move on to partial correlation coefficient. Partial correlation coefficient is between the dependent variable R1 and one of the independent variables R2 holding the other independent variable at a constant value. I had explained this already in the board. Now just to recap, this is what we need to understand in partial correlation. In partial correlation, when there are two independent variables are there, we hold one independent variable at a particular level and then find the relation between the dependent and the other independent variable. I have given quite a few examples. For a particular price tags, the sales volume and the advertisement expenses. Again, in this example, the sales volume is the dependent variable. For a particular level of smoking, the BP and cholesterol. So the BP is the dependent variable, the smoking level and cholesterol are the independent variable. Now pictorially looking at it, you can see that this is an x-axis, this is y-axis and the z-axis. X is an independent variable, z is an independent variable and y is the dependent variable. Now in this plane, when z is held at a value z1, you get the correlation between x and y. Again, when the value of z is 3, this is what it is between x and z. You can see that at z1 value, the correlation, the regression line is somewhat flatter, and here the regression line is somewhat steeper. Now, this is how you need to understand that when you evaluate partial correlation, you hold one variable at a particular level and try to analyze the data between the dependent and the other independent variable. So that will give us an idea in terms of what kind of decision one need to take depending on different levels of the third independent variable. Now let us understand partial correlation coefficient formulae and also an example. It considers y as a dependent variable and x1, x2 are the independent variables. So ry on x1 holding x2 at a particular value is given by ry on x1 minus ry on x2 into x1 on x2 under the root 1 minus r square y on x2 into 1 minus r square x1 on x2. So the other formulae for ry x2 dot x1 and r x1 on x2 dot y. I will explain the partial correlation coefficient in this example. If the values of above partial correlation coefficients are yx1 dot x2 or yx2 dot x1 and r x1 x2 dot y are 0.997, 0.977 and 0.973 respectively, then the interpretation is ry on x2 holding x1 at a particular value is 0.977, and that indicates the extent of linear correlation. Its impact on y and x2 is removed. So that means what? Either you hold x1 at a constant value or remove it. Don't consider that. Same way you can interpret for the other partial correlation coefficients also. Now we will understand this partial correlation coefficient by way of an example. The data is fully assumed data to explain the relationship between the independent variable and the dependent variable. Let blood pressure be x2, the dependent variable. Cholesterol, that is proportional to meat eating, is x1, an independent variable, and smoking cigarettes per day is another independent variable, x3. So in this case we have taken x3 constant and different levels of cholesterol. What is the BP? Again, here the cigarette smoking is 20 cigarettes or 2 packets, and how the BP. You can see that compared to this BP level, these BPs are high for different cholesterol level. So that means what? Cigarette smoking also influence the BP. Now the other one is, we are holding cholesterol or the meat eating at a particular level and vary the cigarette smoking level. Okay, there again you can see the BP is varying, and definitely here it is much more elevated, right? So I am sure this example will help you to understand how to recognize partial correlation. The values of partial correlation are R21.3 and R23.1. Coefficient will be different, that depends on the relationship between the variable. Obviously, the BP depends on two variables and they can contribute to different level of correlation. Finally, we will talk about multicollinearity. What is multicollinearity? Multicollinearity occurs when two or more independent variables highly correlated. We will see by way of an example also. Now, in this example, an expense model, the expense, price rise and inflation are considered. Obviously, the expense is the dependent variable and price rise and inflation are independent variable. But you will find price rise and inflation, they are highly correlated. In such a situation, we deem it to be multicollinear. The data is multicollinear, or this is called multicollinearity, wherein two independent variables are highly correlated. In such an eventuality, what we can do is that either we can ignore one independent variable and be done with the dependent variable and the other independent variable to simplify the problem. So that way it will be very advantageous. Multicollinearity will lead to high multi-correlation coefficient and vice versa. This means that the two independent variables convey the same information and therefore one of the two can be used in the regression equation to understand the behavior of dependent and the independent variable. It simplifies the understanding. Now we will see by way of an example. So the expense are shown here, year-wise, the price rise or the prices and the inflation. You can see the price and inflation are highly correlated. This is a typical situation of multicollinearity. So in which case either we'll consider expense with price rise or expense with inflation and be done with it. So that simplifies the problem. We have come to the end of the session, and in this session we learnt about multiple correlation, partial correlation and multicollinearity. There are several independent variables which influence the dependent variable, and we need to understand how it is impacting the dependent variable, and also in situations where you wanted to take decisions depending on the behavior of independent variable and the dependent variable, we can eliminate if there is multicollinearity so that the problems become simpler.